everyone. Welcome back to Yankees Hot Stove. I'm Meredith Morakovitz, alongside the guy that's trying to get all the deals done, Yankees general manager Brian Cashman. Brian, obviously the big news yesterday was the fact that David Robertson went to the White Sox. When you look at that deal and you look at your decisions, how much did that draft pick come into play?
Yeah, it was a valuable situation. Once we secured a high-end reliever in Miller, I think the $10 million savings between the contracts of Miller and Robertson and that draft pick, became a very valuable piece for us. So, so essentially we wish him the best. David was an awesome Yankee, did everything he was supposed to do for us, and just the system's kind of set up in a way that it makes you gravitate to a choice like this.
So where does that leave the bullpen right now? Who's going to close for you guys next year?
Yeah, it's to be determined. We have Betances and Miller. We have Justin Wilson. We got Warren. We got Kelly. And we have to be determined. If there's any more additions over time. So, I saw somewhere, and never thought about it, but I saw somewhere written today that the last 4 years we'll be with 4 different closers. The last 3 years it was a Soriano, a Rivera, then a Robertson, and that'll be somebody else new. So. We'll just find a way. That's all. Would
you consider going out and maybe getting more of a veteran guy that may be available to kind of even add more strength to that bullpen?
Well, we have a lot of conversations going on, as we've had all winter long. Pretty exhausting, and it just depends on what shakes out. We might wind up with an arm that we feel can compete for that spot as the closer with Betances and or Miller. We may just wind up having those two battle it out. It could be a closer by committee. I just need more time to let the winter sort itself out, and we're going to gravitate to some things if they present themselves and hopefully pounce on it.
When you mentioned closer by committee, do you think guys are more effective if they have a known role, or do you think a closer by committee could work?
You raise a great point. Preference would be to have those roles defined. I'd rather, right now it's closer by committee because we don't have to define the roles, but by the time we get to spring training, I want those roles defined over time, before opening day hits, because I think when that phone rings, it's a better situation if those relievers anticipate if it's for them or not.
You had mentioned coming into this offseason you'd like to get more infield depth, obviously. You now have a shortstop, but you're still not sure what you're doing with third base, second base. Would you feel comfortable going into the season with one of the young guys like a Jose Barela or also Ref Snyder? Yeah,
right now our plan is to take the two kids, Ref Snyder and Barela, to compete for that everyday spot at second, and Prado play third, unless we get some comfort with an available free agent or a potential trade situation. And with the Prado versatility of being able to play second or third, it allows us to have an open mind to a lot of ideas. So again, can't predict what's going to happen. If opening day was starting or spring training was starting today, clearly it'd be Barela and Ref Snyder may the best man win, and Prado being the third baseman.
You had mentioned how well Chase Headley did when he came over to New York. His name has obviously been thrown out there a lot. Are you still in on him?
We've had conversations, no question about it, and he's been a great Yankee. The short time he was here, he was a leader, he was a performer. He has all the attributes that you'd want. Obviously he's in free agency, and there's a demand there. Third base is a thin market, so we've had the conversations continue. Whether they lead anywhere with us or not remains to be seen.
What do you think the realistic expectations are for Alex Rodriguez next year?
I don't know. We did have our strength coach Matt Krause went in there today for the second time to follow up in Miami with Alex, and he reported progress. Matt called me today and let me know that he's improving in this shape as he gets ready for spring training. But it's hard to predict what we're going to get from a player that's missed a full year and at the age he's at. So we hope for the best, but we have to prepare for the worst too at the same time.
You look at Alex's situation, you also have CC Sabathia, Masahiro Tanaka, Ivan Nova, all coming off of injuries. How difficult is it for you to piece together a 25-man roster, not really knowing what you're going to get from a lot of guys?
No, it's just the nature of the beast. Nothing ever stays static or perfect or plays out the way you hope it can. So that's why flexibility and viability and depth is very important. And so, I definitely need to get some more innings for that rotation for me to feel a little bit better than I do right now. And so that's definitely a focus for us right now.
Is that your number one priority right now, starting pitching?
Well, my number one priority is going to be if something, using a hunting analogy, if something comes into your sight lines, take a shot, but it's just, you still get a lot of blurriness or something that just hasn't presented itself, a lot of complicating factors. So right now, since our last deal. Haven't been able to pull anything down just yet, but we've got a lot of lines out there, and we're aggressively working it.
Brandon McCarthy still a consideration?
Talked to his agent earlier today, and we are definitely engaged with the starting pitching market. So again, can't predict what's going to happen, but we are certainly having our conversations.
How quick do you think the other pieces are going to begin to fall now that John Lester is off the table?
Well, you saw a rush of immediate, players sign after the Lester decision. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Clearly, if you're a free agent and you get what you're, minimum what you're looking for, I think they're ready to make a decision. So, as we approach, tomorrow is the last day of these meetings, and I think most of the activity is going to get done tonight. That's usually how it works.
Did that catch you off guard at all, Lester going to the Cubs?
No, it seemed Cubs, Giants, Red Sox the whole way through. You saw the rumblings, and the pendulum was swinging. Boston, San Francisco, Cubs. So I wasn't surprised if he won any of the spots. He's a tremendous talent, and I'm just thankful he went to the National League and is out of the American League East.